this video, I'm going to show you how to categorize transactions in QuickBooks so you can do your bookkeeping and get nice financial reports. So I have the advanced version of QuickBooks. Looks like this. I got my menu on the left. When I log in, it's going to send me to this Get Things Done page with all of these options. I can also find all these options somewhere among these buttons on the left. If I go to bookkeeping, that is where I will find my transactions, or I can just click here, review transactions. So let's hit bookkeeping, and here we go. It looks like we have our Navy Federal checking account. We've got some transactions down here, and we've got 12 of them for review. So we can just go one by one. You can see it's importing automatically if we've linked it, directly to our bank account, or maybe we've uploaded this information. We've got the date, we've got the description, and the dollar amount. And then QuickBooks is trying to suggest where we should assign it to, which is another way of saying where should we categorize this revenue or expense, or maybe it's a different kind of transaction. And you can adjust these columns if you can find where they end, and then click and drag. So let's see here. We've got this check for $998. Maybe I know that this is my rent coming out every month, so I could just confirm there, or I could click the transaction open and add more details if I wanted to. So maybe I'm gonna tag, the vendor every time here. So I'm gonna add a new vendor. Maybe we'll just call them Landlord LLC. I don't necessarily need all of this other information if I have my vendor's contact information somewhere else. As your business gets larger and larger, it might be helpful to keep this information in one central location. So you could plug that in here. We're just going to save that as is for now. So building and property rent looks good. I could add a tag if I wanted to. I think this isn't a specific project that that I want to do project reporting on, so I don't think that I need to add a tag. But if I wanted to keep track of specifically all the revenue and expenses related to a certain project, or a certain time period even, I could do that. I could add something to the memo here, maybe a description like March rent, or sorry, probably April rent, since we're paying a few days before April. And then I have these other options. I could attach a receipt. I could create a rule where maybe everything that says, something in the description like paid check, automatically goes to building and property rent. I'm not going to do that because there aren't that many transactions, and I don't want to create too many rules. And I don't think that I need to add a receipt for this right now if I have it, saved somewhere else. So I'm going to confirm there. And that is one transaction categorized. All right, so let's say that Cleveland State University paid me $1,000 on February 28th. It's suggesting sales. That could work, but maybe I want to be more specific. Maybe I want to categorize that in a specific income account. So let's say I did some consulting. I could add consulting here as its own account. So then it's going to pull up this menu where I can say, no, this isn't a bank account I want to add. This is an income account. So regular business income from my sale of products or services. And then the detail type, no, this isn't a discount. Nonprofit income. Let's say this is service/fee income. So this is my consulting income here. I could put in more of a description, and I could sort of nest this under other accounts and have it roll up on reports if I want to. Um, but I don't think that I need to do that yet. So let's save and close. And there we have our new consulting category, which is also sometimes called an account. I could add tags. I could put more of a description. Maybe the specific project, consulting project name. I could add an attachment, like a receipt, if I wanted. And I could create a rule maybe where everything that is from Cleveland State goes into consulting. But what if they pay me for something else? If that's not an issue, you can go ahead and create a rule. Let's try that now. So if I create a rule here, this is how rules work. So what do you want to call this rule? So let's say consulting, or let's say Cleveland State equals consulting. At a glance, that should tell me what that is. So what are we going to apply this rule to? Money coming in to any bank account that includes the following. Okay, so in the description, it contains Cleveland State University. Great. I think that makes sense. Then if all of this is accurate, then assign it to as a deposit, as consulting, and we could even automatically assign a payee, or also called a customer. Yeah, why don't we add Cleveland State as a customer? And again, I could put in more information if I need to. But I'm not going to at this point. If this, yeah, okay, so I don't need to for this customer. Maybe I could put in contact information if, again, if someone else is going to take over communication with this customer. So if I save that, it automatically took all those Cleveland State ones out. And so I will only see those Cleveland State income transactions if I pop over here to categorize and actually look for them. So, they're auto confirmed here with that rule, which can be helpful. It can also get you into trouble. So, try not to make too many rules. You may forget that you have them there. All right, so next up, George Weasley paid me on February 27th $100. And was it supplies? No, I don't think it was. And I'm not sure why it's suggesting an expense account. That would be like if there was a return of some sort. No, so George Weasley paid me for some services. So we're going to say, okay, looks like we have a services income account. So that's good to go there. We could track, all the money that George Weasley has paid us if we want to keep track of George as a customer. So then I could run a report to see how much has George paid me this year. If your POS system already does this for you, you don't necessarily need to enter all of that information in here, again. I could put in, what this service was. If I want to, I could attach, payment confirmation, or maybe the contract that he signed for my services. So then I'm going to confirm, and let's see what's next. Looks like rent came out again, and that's our only other rent payment. So yeah, building and property rent, that's good to go. And do you want, okay, here we go. Do you want to use the same category for all expenses from paycheck? No, because I might have different check numbers going to different places. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is a transfer out of my Navy Federal to my US bank account. And let's say that my US bank account is actually my personal account, so I was paying myself, which is also known as an owner's draw. So let's see if we can put that into owner draws. So this account is going to keep track of how much total I've taken out of the business as an owner. Can confirm that. This can also be used, if you go to, Chipotle here and you've spent some money maybe accidentally using the business card. So that's very similar to, taking money out of the business and then doing whatever you want with it. So we're also going to put that in as an owner draw. So it's not a business expense because it was personal. I wasn't taking a client out to Chipotle. I was just maybe buying Chipotle for dinner, maybe with some friends. Okay, we've got a income transaction. So maybe someone paid us $431 for something. Not contract labor. Let's say this was sales of some kind. Sales of product income could work, or I could, let's say add another. Maybe this was flower sales. Like part of my business is selling flowers, so I'm going to put it as an income account. Sales of product income works. The name could be floral revenue. And I could make this a sub account if I wanted to. So maybe I'll put all of my different product income under my sales of product income account. And then I'll have my floral revenue. Maybe I'll have another type of product. I can save and close that. All right, let's confirm that. Since that deposit was from Square, I'm not going to even try to tag what the customer was. Maybe it was several different customers similar to this. If this was many different customers, this was just one lump sum Square deposit, I'm just going to let Square record that information about who paid me and for what products or specific items. But now it's saying, okay, I see the Square revenue is usually for floral. So yeah, I could confirm that. And then this one doesn't have a description, but 4,900 came out of my account. Yeah, maybe I was lucky enough to have enough money to actually make 4,900. So let's put that into owner draws. And what else do we have here? Amazon order. Maybe this was like office supplies. So again, I could, open this up and look through my expense accounts and try to find office supplies, or I could just type in office expenses. And then finally, Arthur Weasley paid me $300. It's saying, okay, you could just put this into sales. Maybe I want to say that this was actually floral revenue specifically. All right, so there you have your transactions all reviewed and categorized. Now you can go over to your reports somewhere under business overview, reports. And under favorites, you'll usually see the profit and loss. The balance sheet is another important report, but today we're going to talk about the profit and loss because that's where you will see your different revenue and expense categories. So what we were just doing for the most part, the owner draws are going to appear on the balance sheet along with what your current bank balances are, any debts that you owe, and how much the business has made since it's started. That'll be in the equity section. So profit and loss here, also known as an income statement. And you can see it's automatically run it for January through May, so the year to date. And if I scroll up, I can adjust these dates if I want to. Let's leave it there for now. And I can see, okay, I've gotten 1,500 from consulting, 1,450 from floral revenue, and then I got a little bit from other services as well. I could maybe make this a little bit more descriptive to talk about like what services. Or I could say, oh, you know what, that was actually consulting. So if I click that, I can actually drill down. It's going to take me to the transactions that make up that $105. And let's see here. Let's see if I can edit this further. If I click somewhere on that line, it's going to take me to the individual transaction itself. And this is where I can change it. Let's say from services to consulting. There it is. All right. I'm going to save and close there. And then it's pulling up this transaction report again. Interesting that it didn't update there. Let me try to do the other one, and then we'll refresh and see if that takes them out of this category. Okay, and this is actually an invoice. Okay. Services, hours. So on an invoice, you have to tag product or service. And then these products or services are linked to a specific income account. So this must have been, this hours product is linked to that services account, which means I would have to go into the products and services section of QuickBooks to change that. I can't change it from the invoice, which is a little bit annoying. Let's go back to my report here. Top left, you get this back to reports button and see, yes, it did update that $100. Thank you for the pop-up. That $100 was sent over, it was recategorized to consulting, so it did do that. Now the invoice is a little bit harder to recategorize. I have to chase it down. Let's see, probably under sales, and then invoices. And there's that invoice. Let's see here, products and services. Interesting. Okay, well, that'll be another video. But anyways, the point is that you can have a nice profit and loss report if you categorize your transactions. And if you have this report, you can see where your revenue is coming in from, and are you, tracking towards your financial goals for the year? And then also, what is your money going out look like? Is it going to the right places? Are you spending too much in certain areas? And then ultimately, are you profitable? And this is going to help determine whether you can access funding of some sort, whether that's from an investor or a lender. For more bookkeeping guidance, go to jumpstartinc.org/bookkeeping. And if you want to get in touch with our team directly for one-on-one advising, fill the form out on that webpage. Thanks again for watching.